Good morning, YouTube or BookTube. This is Johnny. Thought I'd make a video. It's been a couple of days. Seems like I always have the same kind of script, don't I? Here I sit. It's been a couple of days. Time to make a video. And yeah, we're on the first day of March. It is March the 1st, 2020. Is a Sunday morning here in West Michigan. It is 10:23 in the morning. So, writing in my diary, I'm on page 221 for the year 2020. I wrote one page already for my March 2020 diary, putting it inside the folder. And I already got this is the folder, the month. It says here on March the 17th, Carol leaves. Carol's going out to Denver, Colorado, unless we are struck with a plague that will stop all traveling. Yeah, last night we FaceTimed with our son Josiah and his wife Hannah, our little granddaughter Marika, there in Seattle, Washington, and the virus, it's a coronavirus, I can't even pronounce it, is in the area there in Seattle, and our son said they might close down schools, quarantine. So they don't know what's going on. People are dying. And I'm sure it'll start hitting throughout the United States. In every state there'll be outbreaks. And there'll be millions and millions of people dying. And then the economy will collapse. And Trump will become dictator. And the evangelical right extremists will say the end of the world, and maybe President Trump's the Antichrist. Who knows? Anyway, I am writing in my diary, and I thought I'd make a video. I didn't do a Friday reads. I've been reading pretty steadily The Lucky Star by William T. Vollmann. And I've been reading Conversations with William T. Vollmann, edited by Daniel Lukes. And I have been reading William T. Vollmann, A Critical Companion, edited by Christopher K. Coffman and Daniel Lukes. So I've been reading these, The Lucky Star, the novel, and reading The Divine Rascal, The Trail of LSD's Cosmic Courier by Michael Hollingshead by Andy Roberts. So I've been reading these books. I've been kind of tired Saturday and Sunday. I'm just trying to fight to stay awake and feeling kind of lethargic and kind of just blah, exhausted, weary, drained. When you hear all these news about plagues and politics and primaries and war, and it just kind of wears you out. So I've been reading Conversations with William T. Vollmann, reading The Lucky Star by William T. Vollmann. I've read 245 pages out of this 600-page novel. And I take a break by reading Divine Rascal. And I also got a book in the mail. I was watching a podcast on YouTube, and it was with an artist, writer that lives in Chicago, Illinois, and he writes books. And he's not really well known, kind of a local Chicago writer. And I ordered from him his little memoir Soviet stamps, how I became an artist. So it's kind of nice. He only published 800, and I have number 429 out of 800. So it has little drawings inside and little things. Nice little book. So I've been looking at that. And in the mornings I've been reading the story Retold, Biblical-Theological Introduction to the New Testament. When you in reading The Lucky Star by Vollmann, I'm reminded of these two books by him, The Royal Family by William T. Vollmann. This was one of my first exposure. Well, anyway, The Lucky Star reminds me of Vollmann's book, The Horrors of Gloria and the Royal Family. But the first time I got into Vollmann is that many years ago I used to get a magazine or a journal called Believer, I think it was. And there was a thing about Vollmann's rising up and rising down that was being published, and I bought it. Now it's a mammoth work. I keep this in my main study. This is it. It's over 3,000 pages. You talk about a March mammoth. And I keep it in my study. It's one of my favorite books. And once in a while I get it out. If I can get it out. See, it's like this. And yeah, it's Rising Up and Rising Down by McSweeney's published it. Yeah, my edition was published in 2003. This is the first volume. And then you have volume 3, 3 Meditations on Death, Introduction to the Days of the Nebelings, Definitions for Lonely Atoms. So, I mentioned in my videos that I read here and there, and once in a while I get these out. Rising Up and Rising Down, Volume 2, Justifications. And then you have Volume 3. They're really nice volumes. There are a lot of photographs inside. And it's really a massive work. And I bought it, and that's how I got into Vollmann. That's what I'm trying to say. See, this is volume 4. There's all kinds of photographs in it. I'm not sure if he took all the photographs, but here's volume 5. Studies and Consequences. Like this volume 5 is almost 600 pages. And here's volume 6. And this one's almost, 600 and some pages. And then you have annotated contents, moral calculus, index of moral actors, annex, and sources cited. The last volume. So yeah, I bought these. I must have bought them out. Just when they came out. I bought the set. That's how I got into Vollmann. And then what I did is I bought all his works used. I went to Amazon many years ago and I bought everything I could get used. And after that, I started buying Vollmann's works as they were being published. He's the only person I would buy new, except for certain beat books. So, like, you know, Kerouac biographies or letters of Ginsberg or things like that, I would buy new. I do buy some new books, history books, maybe biographies I buy. But yeah, that is rising up and rising down. So then that's how I got into reading The Royal Family by William T. Vollmann, and then The Whores of Gloria by William T. Vollmann. So yeah, so it's been kind of like a William T. Vollmann last couple of days. This morning my wife picked up a New York Times Sunday National Edition newspaper, and in the New York Times Review, there's a review of Lucky Stars, and it was totally negative. The guy didn't like it. He thought it was boring. Like I said in my last videos, William T. Vollmann is an acquired taste. He's written Rising Up and Rising Down. He has written, he has 7 dreams about the history of Native Americans in America, you know, things like that. And he's written Hopping the Rails. He's written a book on the poor. He's written short stories, travel books. He's books of photography, and he just writes, and that's kind of like why I like Vollmann. I'm trying to say is that he writes. He's prolific. He just writes. Now, is that, like I said, everybody has their own literary taste, and some people never could get into Vollmann. But I just find him, I admire him for his just writing. He just writes. And he doesn't sit on his butt and just say, I'm a writer. He writes. And he's published continually. And so that's why I like writers who are writers. I mean, who just write until the day they die. And they don't just put out 1 novel or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. They're like John Updike or like Joyce Carol Oates or Philip Roth or certain writers who just continually write not only novels, but they write nonfiction, they write essays, they write short stories, they do all kinds of things because they're writers. And those are the kind of people I like. So I've been reading Vollmann and writing in my diary, feeling kind of spaced out these days. Spring is coming. Today it's going to be in the 50s today. Maybe we'll start seeing robins, the chipmunks. Maybe we'll see some rabbits. I don't know. So it's a new week. I have nothing planned this week. Tomorrow I volunteer at the bookstore, the library use bookstore, the Book Nook, and yeah. So I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you have a good reading week. Thank you for the new subscribers, and I don't know why you subscribe to me, because you know I'm just totally spaced out. I'm just trying to get through each day. I'm exhausted, I'm weary, I feel beat up. I look around me in America, what's going on, and it's depressing. I look at what's going on in the world, it's depressing. But we have to look at the fact that this world is passing away, and that soon the Lord will come, and there'll be a new day, a new creation, and that's what I look forward to. So until next time, bye. Hope all is well. And once again, thank you for the comments and the new subscribers. Bye.